We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing.
Hey guys, this is Jody with the Whiskey Rebellion Barcast. Hey, listen, you guys know the thing. You know, I need you to subscribe, to like, to smash that the notifications. Make sure you guys are following us, all right? But with that all being said, and everybody's here tonight on another show, what's in your glass, guys?
Well, I've decided I'm going to take a little easy on myself tonight, so I'm just doing some nice Kentucky Mules, a little bit of using the Weller Special Reserve, a little bit of Diet Ginger Beer, and going easy on myself tonight.
Did you try one on last night?
No, but I will tell you last Thursday when we did our show. Yeah.
Hey, that has been a point of contention that we've talked about. David and I should say contention, because that's not the right choice of words. But David and I had talked about, you know, for our viewers, we have a lot of viewers out there, or we got 5. And if they want to be, you know, part of it, we could do 6. I'm sorry, I forgot my mom was watching. But if we wanted to add an after show that was live, I'd be down with that. Now, I probably won't participate as much because, well, you know, what happens in the live feed could be bad for all of us. So I may not join that. But if we want to do that for our fans, I'm down with that. Let's make it happen, you know? Anyhow, though, we have an interesting topic tonight that our, you know, Chuck McLaughlin brought up to us, and it is fantastic. I love it. I want to talk about it, and I want to hit it. So, Chuck, lead us into it.
Right. You mean as far as the topic?
Yes. Did I not say topic? I thought I said topic 3 times.
Yeah, we can do that.
We're going to do the bourbon news first?
Yeah, let's check through some bourbon news. We did that last week, Jody.
Oh, okay. I didn't catch the bourbon news. What is bourbon news? Tell me about it.
Is the up and coming products that are being brought into market. So first one is Bardstown for Kewin.
Ah, I've seen that one. That looks fantastic.
And that is a 2 12-year-old or 12-year Kentucky bourbons blended with a 17-year, I believe it's a 17-year Tennessee bourbon or whiskey, I should say, and a 21-year for Kewin Irish whiskey.
Nice.
Wow.
Oh.
Nice.
And then, of course, another big one is, I don't know if anybody's familiar with the Last Drop. That one was dropped last year. Buffalo Trace Sazerac, what is it? Distilled it in 1980. Let it sit for 20 years, of course. And then it was vatted for approximately a year. And it was dropped last year. There were only 240 cases of that available. It was 100, or it was actually 90 proof. That one was, and I believe the price of that one was MSRP at $4,600.
Woo!
And that's MSRP?
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
And they're supposed to be coming out with a new version of that, brought out by distiller master blender Drew Mayfield of Sazerac Buffalo Trace as well as Seagram's fame. And that one's coming in at an estimated 121 proof. but the bottles are going to be 50 mil. So I don't know what that's going to, come out price wise, but that one should be interesting.
50 mil. That's a pretty small bottle.
Yeah, it is. And I don't know if they're just making a play off of the old one and not, maybe this one might just be a, 2-3 year, 4 year, maybe age statement. Who knows? I don't know if it's going to be a 20, but I guess we'll see. And the next one is,
Chuck,
yes,
hey Chuck, did you get the MSRP on that Bardstown?
I believe the MSRP on that one is going to be about 140, 150.
Yeah,
That's not terrible.
that's about normal for them.
Yeah. Well, last year, they were 125.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the Bardstown.
Yeah. And then
What's
you have-
interesting with that, what you were talking about is when you go to the distillery at Bardstown, what you described as their new blend sounds like what was only available at the distillery. They mixed a 7, 12, and 15 year, I believe. That's a silver bottle I have that had signed by the master distiller. And that's an interesting, and now I don't know that it has the Tennessee whiskey in it. And I'm curious about that, but we talked about that some online. And that is the fact that some of the reasonable assumptions is it's probably or most likely, Dickel.
Mhm.
But I've had Sweetens Cove, and I think Sweetens Cove is fantastic. I don't think it tastes like George Dickel or even has a hints of George Dickel in it at all. Now, the problem is I do find the price point to be a little outlandish and find myself I bought it once. I don't see myself buying it again. I think that comes down to the whole celebrity aspect of it. Maybe that takes us into the topic that you were going into next.
Mhm.
Pardon me for interrupting you, but so please
No
go ahead.
worries. So the next one we have is Woodford Reserve Masters Collection, and it's called Historic Entry Proof. Now, the bottle comes in at 90.4 proof, and it's a 700 ml bottle. So historic
not
entry proof-
750.
No, it's a 700 ml.
Okay.
That's something new that the U.S. is basically allowed.
And doesn't that match?
That's going to become commonplace.
Yeah, let's say that matches pretty much with the international market because
Yes.
750 is only a really United States bottle.
Right.
International markets are all 700 mils.
Now, I wonder if that's
Yeah.
related to some of the supply demand issues.
Like smaller bottles.
Most
Yeah.
likely will be, yeah, because that cuts down on, the contents in the bottle, makes it spreads it out more.
Okay.
So the one thing I have, I find interesting with this Woodford Reserve is the 90.4 proof. And it's called Historic Entry Proof. What did it enter the, the barrel at?
Yeah.
What are they getting at there? Did they water it down? Maybe it was historically, barreled or entered the barrel at say 125 proof. What did they do? Water it back down again and put it in the bottle and bottle it?
Jody, you're muted.
I apologize. I sneezed earlier, so I had to mute myself. But I wonder if that's some pre-prohibition aspects. Maybe that because it's historical aspects. Maybe they're looking at it from the perspective of
Possibly, yeah.
This is what we're going to do, and this is the reason why we're going to do it. Because prior to prohibition, we put it on the market at, you said 94 proof, right?
90.4.
90.4. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I'm speculating at this point.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they have on tap for this one.
Chuck, real quick, educate me.
Yes, sir.
When they say blending of some bourbon that's different years, when they blend, how do they go about that process real quick? I mean, because in my head, I'm just thinking they take equal parts, pour it in together, and voila. Is there a more complicated process to, blending stuff together based on years or anything like that?
I think it depends on the master blender and how they go about it. What they do is typically they put it in beakers, measure them out, and then pour samples, if you will.
I wonder
sample them.
I wonder if they warm it just a little, not enough to make the alcohol evaporate, but for the premises of allowing the different components or elements within the two blends or the three blends,
Sometimes
whatever.
they'll take
Yeah.
the glass and warm it this way.
Yeah, I'm just saying so they can help, make it dissolve into one another, so it
Mhm.
doesn't taste like equal parts.
Yes.
So
Okay.
But I
You know
think
what'd be
that just
neat?
depends on the master blender, though.
what would be neat is if they could come out with a bottle that was blended, where you could see the parts. Where the bourbon, you could see where it was layered into the parts.
Oh,
Now,
yeah, that would be cool.
that would be very cool. I don't know how they would do that.
Mm.
That'd be a very innovative way, but that would be freaking cool. That would be something that I think a lot of people would buy just because of the cool factor. It'd be freaking cool. But anyway,
And
so what else? Do we have any more bourbon news before we get to price points?
yes, one more,
Okay.
and that is Smoke Wagon. They're coming out with one called Uncut the Younger.
I wonder if it's a play off the Younger brothers that were part of the Jesse James gang.
I initially that's what I was thinking, but yeah, I did see when you posted that, Chuck.
Yeah, this one is basically it's an uncut expression of the straight bourbon whiskey, and they're trying to come up with something that's more affordable. Given that we have all these high-priced bourbons out there that you have to pay, of course, the celebrities and the master distillers, the blenders, and the people that front the money for these products to get them started. This guy's just trying to, Aaron Shapanik, he's just trying to get a more affordable product out there to the people, given the current state of the economy.
Yeah, I'm curious I know we're getting ready to transition into the price point of bourbons, and do we think it's kind of crazy and this, that, and whatever. But I am curious because I know that a few of us follow some of the secondary pages. Have you seen as much still going on in secondary pages? And here's probably a better question. Have you seen them getting what they were getting 6 months ago, 4 months ago, 3 months ago, hell, 3 weeks ago? Because I find that to be a fascinating discussion when you're talking about the, as pricing, specifically when you're talking about, some of the new entries into the market, their price points. I mean, does anyone
say 3 months ago, we were at an all-time high with many of the products on secondary. Say take for example the Van Winkles, the B-Tax, the usual stuff that everybody wants, even Buffalo Trace products. We were at an all-time high now, and it's typical, it's cyclical almost, that right come January, February, March, and then we roll into April. April gets us back on track again for the pricing. But January, February, March, it's down. Everything comes back down. Doesn't come back down drastically, but what was, say, $2,500 may come down to $2,300, $2,200.
So I don't follow the secondary market, so.
And then come November, right around Thanksgiving, that's when everything starts to ramp back up again.
Well, that's because of the time of the season, though. That's in the heart of the season.
Yeah.
For BTAC for sure.
Sure.
So that might have a lot to do with it because people get out there and they try to score their whatever they promised somebody for a gift and they can't get it, and now they're going to pay secondary pricing.
And I can tell you this here, even with the way things are, the market here has not changed very much. Colonel Taylor is about $200 here if you could find it, which is crazy. Blanton's, I mentioned to you guys last week, it was $250. People were still buying it.
But just regular straight from the barrel, not straight from the barrel, but just regular single barrel blends.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I will have to say this: Miami's a very different place. You guys saw the video I posted from this car show that me and the wife went to, And, you know, people complaining about gas and all this other stuff. Listen, I probably counted 11 Bugattis. I don't know how many Lamborghinis. I don't know how many Ferraris, you know, just the most god awful expensive vehicles you can put your hands on. And of course, all these cars run on, of course, you know, premium gasoline. But there was more cars than there were people.
Premium gas, and they don't get a good gas mileage.
Not at all. And it just made me think that Miami is such a place that regardless of what's going on, people still want their luxuries, and that includes spirits. So you still can't find Eagle Rare. And
it's so crazy because you were sending us Eagle Rare, you know, a year ago because it was all over the place.
And so I can still get my hands on it. It's a little bit more, it's still affordable for us if we want it. Let's say that.
Mm-hmm.
But I seen an Eagle Rare on the shelf for $125. And I really laughed. And, you know, the guy had it sitting behind the counter. And I mean, I didn't even inquire on it because I just thought it was so hilarious to me. But the fact of the matter is, I've seen Eagle Rare from $45, which I snatched. Now you're talking $125. But again, that's why I say I think Miami's in a very different place. The housing market, the car market here, I mean, you name it, you know, these boutique stores are still up and running as if nothing has changed, and like they're giving away gasoline. So Miami's a very different place, that is for sure.
So that, first of all, I seen your pictures on Facebook, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't even hit like because I find those cars to be stupid, to be honest with you. I mean, I really do. I don't get arousal out of that at all. And I know that I'm not like everyone else when it comes to that. I prefer just big trucks and stuff that has some functionality to it. But I do think you brought a very fantastic topic to it, because I think you're right in some of the pricing. Like, I bet Blanton's is still going off the shelf at $250. All right. I bet Eagle Rare is still going off the shelf at $125 or whatever you said it was down in Miami. I know it is in Franklin, Tennessee, fifth richest county in the nation. People are still buying, you know, crazy ass, you know, or paying ridiculous pricing for whatever it might be. That's just who they are, you know? So that, and they have the same type of car shows here every, I think it's the first Sunday or Saturday of each month down at the Thoroughbred cinemas. They have these ridiculous sports cars and all that. And the only reason why I know that is because when I was a police officer, I used to drive over there. I'm like, what the hell's going on over here? And then, of course, or at the factory. The factory does it too. But one thing before we get into our real topic about price points, Lil John, I noticed your shirt you have on the company, and that's what I'm drinking tonight. This is solid stuff. But you can look at it. You can see that I just got this bottle this past week, and it's that far gone. Now, David and Melvin both had a little bit too. But this, if you haven't tried
excellent
this
stuff.
Now, for those out there who know me, know that I freaking loathe, you know, Jack Daniels. Loathe it with all my heart. Like, if I had to go to hell and I was going to have to spend eternity someplace, that's where it would probably be. All right. Wouldn't be Iraq. I can make it work there. It would be Jack Daniels. All right. The master distiller, I should say the master distiller from Jack Daniels.
It's Arnett.
Yeah. That's who blended this whiskey. All right. And the reason why he left, allegedly, is based upon he wasn't allowed to experiment as much or go away from the original recipe or whatever it might be. If this is what this dude can do, now I wish it was a higher proof, I will be honest. But if this is what this dude can do, oh my God, you're an idiot for getting rid of it, to be honest with you. This is fantastic. And I think 4 of us on here, I know for sure, has had it. And we'd all concede to agree, right?
Yeah, no, it's really good.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, by the way. I was over at Jody's on Sunday. I was allowed on the property.
Absolutely. That was a good pour there. It's easy drinking.
Yeah, it is. So let's talk about price point. Like, are we seeing, I mean, obviously in Miami we are, and I would argue that other places they're definitely going up. But do we think several things? One is, I think that the 700 milliliter thing, I think that was fantastic to talk about. I think that was interesting. And I wonder if that is related to, because that was uniquely American. Chuck was right about that, or Rob, or whomever said that. That was uniquely American about that. And I think for bourbon, we ought to stay with uniquely American. You know, I really do, because that's kind of the whole concept behind bourbon. But when you think about it in the perspective of supply demand issues, and we've talked about it ad nauseum on this show before, the aspect that some of the distillers are looking at innovative ways to, package their product. Is this one way? Because you can buy on economies of scale throughout the world, partnerships and this, that, and whatever, buy more bottles. And though you're technically giving your consumer less, somewhat, we'll call it, is that not a better route to go, so you can have available bottles? So we're not making, since it all comes from one area, we're not making two different types of products. And then the other thing is, would there be a difference in price?
Of course not.
Oh, I may agree with you too. Of course there wouldn't be.
Yeah.
But actually, I think initially it would be one of those things I've got to have. I got to have the first 700 milliliter,
Sure.
Right.
And so it's going to drive it up.
Well, I think what's going to happen with that. So if a company like myself included, so when I pick my bottles for my sauce, my wife actually picked the bottle, but it worked out because that bottle is easy to package because of its size, because of its shape. So when they go to a 700 ml bottle, they're going to have to change their packaging as far as when they ship a case of it. So I think that's going to be a different expense. I don't know if those packagings are going to cost them more or less.
See, this is where I would
fit and ship.
This is where I'm gonna disagree with you, and I hate to interrupt you, but I'm gonna disagree with you on that aspect, because if the other 179 countries throughout the world are using a different size bottle and only America is using one that's different, packaging is not going to change. I mean, we're gonna change with it, but there's already availability through packaging that's there that we can probably buy again on economies of scale, meaning buying bulk, like going to Costco. A distillery can buy it on bulk. It'd probably be cheaper than producing it on their own. See what I'm saying? And all they gotta do is change the labeling. I think all of that's going to be the same. What's that?
I can agree with you on that. It's just, things are going to change,
Oh yeah.
So and it's one of those things where I wonder if the distilleries are going to add a charge on just to make a little bit more extra. Like they probably wouldn't have to, but I feel they may do it anyway.
No, we need to do a show on whiskey speculation. I think because I'm not even, I'm a business person. I teach business, but I don't even know if there is if the whiskey industry, I know it is. I should put it different. They're just under different names because they're owned by parent companies. But I like to know what they're traded for on the market and what the speculation is, because speculation is going to lead to price. If you can see what the speculation is, you would be able to determine whether or not this is going to be a good month to buy whiskey or not. Maybe I need to hold out for a few months. You know what I'm saying? So it'd all be based on speculation. And I'm willing to bet if they're going to a 700 milliliter right now, speculation is up, mainly because of the novelty of it. They'll think it's just going to be temporary because the vast majority of Americans are dumbasses. And so they're going to absolutely think that. And they're like, I got to have this, So I don't mean that derogatory or condescending. It's just true. Right.
You're a fucking idiot, but I mean, I'm not trying to offend anybody.
Hey, Jody.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, yeah, I'm gonna play on what Chuck was going through his bourbon news in the beginning. I tell you, I think Smoke Wagon has probably figured something out on the marketing side when they tried to bring to the market maybe a better price point bourbon. They make a good bourbon, but they're probably looking at better, or whiskey, but at a better price point. I work in the handgun market. That's my occupation.
I'm today's years old when I learned this, and I'm a ginormous Second Amendment person.
Correct.
We should have already been in a relationship, you and I.
That's how I make my living. So anyway, but we have seen a massive downturn for the first time in the handgun market. Basically, but I'm gonna tell you, we're on the front end. But bourbon, I'm gonna tell you this: bourbon is like food. People buy what they can afford.
Right, I agree with you
And
there.
and what you eat basically what you can afford. I'm telling you, the market is changing, and I would say probably you're going to start seeing distilleries probably where they start marketing. You sell what people buy, and when their price points are getting up into when your standard bourbons are getting up into 150 range, you're going to start seeing.
Oh, I think it'd be long before 150 range. I think when it tops out at $79 for something that's supposed to be, $38, that's going to turn a lot of people's heads the wrong direction.
Yeah, but you're going to see a lot of that other stuff sitting on the shelf, and people going to drink. I'm telling you, with a recession, they're going to drink more, but they're going to drink the stuff on the lower shelf.
That's right.
I just know how.
Williams.
I know how the math works.
Yeah.
So that's basically that's going to dictate what people drink.
Well, you and I will be talking more. We need to exchange phone numbers via the you should have PM'd me your phone number because we need to be in a serious relationship, a committed one. But when I'm looking at this in the perspective,
hey, I'm not gay.
It's okay if you were, and it's okay if I am. This is not one of those
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong.
I didn't say there's anything wrong with it. I just said I'm not that person.
Yeah, but I'm just letting you know, a gun guy, I may be that person. So don't judge me, okay? But moving forward, I mean, I'll get a rainbow flag if that's what it takes. But hey, listen,
don't worry, forward, guys. If Jody's gay, if he comes out, I'm going to be the first one to know. Just so y'all know.
It's probably true.
Hey, David, we're looking for you to pull the flag up then.
We'll have a flag raising ceremony. But anyhow, look, I don't want to get off topic here. So I do think, and Chuck, you'll have to correct me on this because I don't remember who the distillery is for that, but like the representative that's made by the same people that do the president and congressperson or whatever it is. They do all. What's that?
Proof and wood. Yeah.
The representative is reasonably priced. I don't know what the price point is in your local area, but it's about $40 something here in the state of Tennessee. All right. That's fantastic for a 4-year. Straight up, not 4 years in one day. It's 4 years. It just took off its diapers that afternoon, graduated to 4 years old. They put it in a bottle. All right. But for the price point, that is a solid and interesting notes, but something that I think people would want to buy. And if they keep it at that price point, now I will still complain that the biggest problem with that whole bottle is I should never need a wrench to open it up. And you do. You got to. They put so much wax on that thing. They're either going to cut off some appendage.
One of your appendages is definitely going to be cut off.
Or you're going to have to get a wrench, and you're going to have to go, I hope this bottle has enough strength to do this because this is what's getting ready to go down. Yeah. And because they put this little Dollar General store type of little tagger thing that you pull on that breaks as soon as you touch it or you want to touch it. And so that's it. And it's supposed to take off this 4 pounds of wax that they have on it. All right. Outside of that, they need to get with Maker's Mark and figure out how to do that. But outside of that, that is a fantastic entry level. Now, we were talking about Smoke Wagon, and it's funny because I haven't seen much on Smoke Wagon in the last 3 or 4 months. Like they went to those award-winning ones and this, that, and whatever that everybody had to have. And, then because of the glass shortage, they went to the clear bottles for a while. Right. And everybody had to have those, because it's novelty and I'm gonna overpay for it. I'm not saying me, I'm saying other people probably overpaid for it. So on and so on. But I think if they are doing this thing with the youngers that you were talking about, one is their bottling has distinctive 2 guns on it. So it would be a reasonable assumption that it's the younger brothers from or the Youngers gang that was the predecessor to the James gang.
Well, right. I believe it's their motto. It's a play on their motto. It's a Latin motto. I don't remember what the name of it is, but it's a play off of that.
Here's the point. with that, what you just said, let's say that what you said is absolutely right. The puffery that's associated with the story I just said,
Mhm.
people would believe too, because they have that old West type of feel to their bottling.
Sure.
And then if it's at a reasonable price point, people are going to want it. It's an MGP product, which we all know MGP. If you hadn't had, what is it? Remus repeal.
Remus repeal.
Oh my God. That, in my opinion, so far has won 2022. That is fantastic bourbon. All right. But that's MGP. That's their product. All right. And I do think it's a little pricey. I wish it was a lower entry level price point, but I think
what was it for you?
I think we talked about this. I called you on the phone. I think it was right at $100 for me.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And it's supposed to be what, 79, 69, something like that.
Yeah. I typically pay 74 for it.
Yeah. Which, to be honest with you, would be acceptable for me. But
I agree.
You know, in a much more inflated market, I like to hold on to that money a little bit longer if I can, you know.
I'm sure we all would.
Yeah. But let's hear. Go ahead.
So, and I know, and if you are interested, if people out there are interested, hit us up, join us in the VIP chat. And one of the things I noticed today, PA had their Whiskey Wednesday release, and they released the Kentucky Owl, the Wiseman's, whatever. So last year they had it priced at $249 a bottle. This year they released it at $299 a bottle, $300 a bottle. I don't know that much has changed on that product. That it's a $50 increase.
Do you know what batch that was?
I didn't see what batch. I'd have to go back and look.
Because the last one that Dixon Deadman was involved with was 10. And I would have probably paid that for, you know, something that he pushed out, but nothing that the new people are doing. I wouldn't pay that much.
And even things like, we mentioned the Parker's Heritage. They raised the PA raised the Parker's Heritage, $20 a bottle from last year. And I think I'd mentioned this to Chuck in the comments. And for the most part, PA is okay in pricing. They're certainly not the retail markets where things are marked up to $150 for a bottle of blend. But it seems to me that somebody in the state has caught on to the fact that, hey, these bourbon people are crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
And let's see what we can do to squeeze some more money out of them on these really high end releases that they're coming out with.
Yeah,
look at Henry McKenna. They're trying to get $60 for that right now.
Yeah.
Well, if there was a few times that Jack and I were on the same page, that's the one. I am not a big fan of Henry McKenna. I know there's a lot of people out there that love it. It's just not one of my favorites.
Melvin, you like it, don't you? I think we've had that conversation. See?
Yeah, I love it. I love Henry McKenna.
Fan.
I've got a couple of bottles on the shelf now.
There you go.
I will tell you guys this. If I ever committed a crime, I'm gonna do it with Lil Jon because he don't talk for shit. Come on, man, say something.
He's like, no, man. Snitches get stitches.
Really, I thought you were going to lead off with this because I was white.
Listen,
Wow, it's just really escalated.
You don't talk. Andy's white.
Listen, you my man, 100 grand. You don't talk for shit. When they say where you from, my mama. So tell us about in your neck of the woods. Have you seen a lot of price hikes on anything?
I haven't seen any here just yet. I'm anticipating, I'm sure it's coming. I just shipped out Mal's package and I about cried when I paid for what I paid to ship things overseas. So I'm assuming that it's about to hit the bourbon market. But yeah, I haven't seen it.
I would have just told him it was on the Titanic and just went with it.
After everything that I've been through this past almost 2 months, I was like, I just got to get it out. But y'all were talking earlier about celebrity bourbons, and I think one celebrity that is kind of doing it right, or at least has the consumer in mind, is Terry Bradshaw. Terry Bradshaw, produced Bradshaw bourbon whiskey, and his main point was to making sure that it kept around a decent price point for the average consumer to have a good quality whiskey for a decent price. And I think its true MSRP is what, like $39.99, or around no more than $45.99.
Yeah, it's about that.
But I also think with him though, it's also part of who he is. I mean, think of when he entered the NFL. He entered right after Joe Namath and all that nonsense with the furry coats and this, that, and whatever. So he entered right after the Hollywood time and became in as, this little guy from Louisiana.
Louisiana Tech.
Yeah, that was the second string to what's his name, Phil Robinson, or Robertson, or whatever his name is, the Duck Dynasty guy. So this little guy, and then he turned out to be this great 4 or 5 time Super Bowl champ. You would know, Rob. He was part of your team, but yeah. So I mean, the guy, but he always seemed to be kind of like, even today, when you watch him on the show, he's the heel. Everybody's always making fun of him and this, that, and whatever. And then of course he has the goofy haircut, because instead of just shaving his head, he's like, I'm gonna hold on to the back part, like people are watching that, so he kind of plays that role. And so if he were to produce some, $150 entry point bourbon, I think people would go, that's not who you are, man. That's who the company is that you're working with. And I really think he just stayed with his roots on that. Like, hey, dude, I came in as someone who threw the pigskin around, and from Louisiana, just this average dude. And he wanted to have some average. I would imagine his bourbon is probably pretty average. I've never tried it. I don't have any. I have seen it.
Which is his again?
The Bradshaw. It's called Bradshaw.
Really?
I have a bottle. It's good. It's not special. It's not anything that stands out in the bourbon, to other bourbons, but it's a good bourbon. And I think he's releasing a rye. I thought I heard a rumor of a rye coming out soon, but it's like 3-year bourbon. It's nothing exciting, but it's good. It's a good, decent bourbon.
Cool. Well, listen, guys, let's do this. Let's end this. And if we want to go to the live cast, we can. Just got to wait for David to send us out the link.
I can do that.
But I would love to see all you guys there. I'll stay on for a little while on the live link. But
I still need to do the upgrade, but go ahead.
Can you do it without the upgrade
tonight? One of us will have to sit in the back, because it'll only hold 6.
I can sit in the back. I don't care.
Okay, you're going to sit in the back.
I don't care who sits.
No, we're putting Jody in the back, because it'll be distracting.
Yeah, you put baby in the back. I'm down with
That's
this.
right. We can do it.
So,
yeah, I'll get started on it now.
All right, and
you can put me in the corner, since I don't talk much anyway.
Yeah, you could do that, but you got to have him there just in case anybody says something offensive.
Yeah, we're saving you for.
He can say, "Look, Little John was my witness. He was on the show."
That's it.
Don't care what your lying ears heard. John speaks for me.
Little John, don't be upset. Listen, you would look good on the stand. You're a pretty white boy. Listen, the jury would love you.
That is funny.
And thank you, Jonathan. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Yeah,
I already had the banana moon pie.
I got to tell y'all kind of a little bit more detail about what happened. I thought I was going to have to go to court.
Okay.
I'm fucking pissed.
I assumed that from your post.
Do we want to
Rob,
save that?
I found out what happened with your box. So for whatever reason, it left Miami, got to Palm Beach, and for some reason or another, got on the plane from Palm Beach to LA. And then got to LA and was like, oh shit. And they put it back on the plane back to PA. So apparently the plane ride, the pressure of it caused the capsules to break open. Because Mark got his and all of them were in perfect condition. So I was so pissed. And because I
I don't even know what one of the 4 of the 5 cups I got, because I haven't opened yet. But what sample it is, man? But I got one of the 5 left. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, I'll get you some more out. But yeah,
right.
before we do the taste. But yeah, when I talked to him, and I was like, why did it go to L.A. to go to Pennsylvania of all places?
Cheaper. It's cheaper to do that. That's the reason why.
Oh yeah, no, it's the U.S. Post Office. That's what that is.
Hey, that's your government. But hey, guys, listen. You guys know the thing. You know the deal. So cheers to everybody. Everybody have a good one. And we'll go to the live feed.
What's your name? What? What is your name? Tony!